Okay. Yeah. Today we are going to start with the Material UI framework. Okay. So Material UI is a open source library. Okay. So which provides the rich set of React components. So by using these components, we can develop the applications very easily, and also it provides some options to customize the components and also the theme colors. Okay, so if you see most of the applications will have something like color represents based on their logo, right? The primary color, secondary color. Okay, so if we are going to use the Material UI by using the simple theme options, we can customize the application very easily based on the themes that Material UI provides. Okay, so what is a Material UI, right? So it contains a set of React components which implements the Google's Material design. Okay, Material UI is a framework which was given by the Google, and it implements the Google's Material design. Okay, so Google Material design is a specification. Okay, so in 2014, Google Material design was introduced. Okay, so why this was introduced, right? So Google have a rich set of products, right? You can see what are the products that the Google have. Can you name any of them? Google products.
Like OK Google.
Okay.
And maybe phones.
Okay. Yeah. So simple. We have the Gmail and right.
Okay.
Yeah, Gmail, YouTube, and we have Google Maps. Some of them are there, right? Google products. Okay, if you see, right, most of the Google products will have the same set of user experience across all their products on any platform.
Okay.
Alright, like in order to see, right, the Google or Gmail, if you see in Android and desktop, you will see the same user experience even though the platform differs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in order to maintain the same user experience for across all their products, Google was introduced a new concept called material design. We can say it is a specification, right? Material design is a specification. Okay, by this material design, okay, they will have some set of rules. By using the rules, what is the font size and what should be the line length. Okay, like that we can have the specification defined. By using this specification, we have the some of the frameworks like Material UI and the other libraries, like if you see these are the products that will have in our Google, right? Mobile apps for Android, Google Play apps, Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and some Gmail. All these are the products that was used the material design in these products. Okay, next. Okay, next we have what are the CSS libraries that implement the material design, right? So you can see Materialize, Material Bootstrap, MUI CS Framework, Material Design Lite, Polymer, Angular Material for Angular framework, right? Like this, we have the Material UI framework for our React based applications. Okay, so what this Material UI provides us, it provides components for us to work with the UI. Okay, we will see what are the components that it provides. We can install the Material UI by using this command, right? npm install material UI /code. Okay, so you can see just a minute. Okay, I will come to this slide later. So first we have a typography, right? Fonts and typography. So for any application, typography is the main one. Okay, so if we didn't see proper fonts or proper headings, right, then it looks ugly for every application. Okay, so what this Material UI provides is, it provides us some of the inbuilt components in order to work with the typography of our application. Okay, so if you see left side, right, this part, this is a material design specification. Okay, so these are the some of the HTML tags, right? H1 to H6, subtitle 1, body 1. Okay, so what this specification has given, right? They have given like what is the font size for this H1 and what should be the weight, what should be the size of font, and what should be the case, and what should be the letter spacing between these, right? So by using this material design, all these CSS frameworks will develop the components for us. If we use the components, we will get the same set of this UI in our web application. Yeah, so next. Okay, iconography. Okay, so which means icons, right? So material design provides us some of these type of icons, like outlined type of icons, rounded icons, sharp icons, and two-toned icons. Okay, so all of these frameworks develops this specification and will have different types of icons in our material UI. Okay, so inside of our material UI, we have rich set of icons that we can access them by using the library called Material UI /icons. So next you can see Material UI also have some other components like app bar and buttons, right? And some cards, right? So if you see, this is a app bar, we can say. If you see into our Gmail or something, okay, if you see this one, right, you are seeing, right?
Yeah.
So this is a material UI design of input element.
Okay.
Okay, so next, Chrome. Okay, you can see, right, this we call it as a app bar. This one we call it, correct? This part, whatever you are seeing, right, here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one we call it as a app bar, correct? So this one we call it as a nav drawer. So if you see something, it is opening and hiding, right?
Yeah.
So this one we call it as a nav drawer. So yeah, like this, some set of components as given by the material here. You can see the button components, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the boxes, radio buttons, and switches, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can see this menu ports, right? Like this we have.
Yeah.
Correct? Whatever you are seeing, right, it is closing and hiding. Okay, this we call it as a nav drawer, navigation drawer. Okay, for this we have the similar components in our material UI and also other frameworks as well. So, and if you can see bottom navigation, some of them will have some bottom navigation, right?
Yeah.
This side of the page, or sorry, bottom of the page, you will have some navigation to go to some links or in order to see some things, right? If you want to add it favorites, if you want to find nearby, we can do it. Okay, and also we have tabs. Okay, tabs, you know, right?
Yeah.
So dialog boxes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, something like this we can see it in multiple.
Yes.
Okay, and this is the rich set of UI components, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also it provides the color system. Okay, by using the color system, we can apply the themes for our material UI.
Okay.
Okay, so the material design gives us a specification to the color system. Okay, by using this specification, we can apply our colors to the UI in a meaningful way. Okay, so what it provides the primary and secondary color. Okay, the primary color is the one that used most frequently across our application screens and components. Okay, like what is the highlighted color for our application, sorry, for our company brand, right? company logo or company brand. That we can consider as a primary color.
Okay.
Yeah. The secondary color, which gives us the to distinguish the product in a different way. Like that, we can apply the secondary color to the headings or headlines or any progress bars or any section controls or any sliders or any switches. We can apply our secondary colors, right?
Okay.
So okay, and also it provides the grid system. Okay, it has a 12 columns based grid system. Okay, do you know Bootstrap?
Yeah.
Then I think you know, right? What is a grid system, right?
Yes.
What is the use of grid system?
To divide the I mean, like, it's a design like to divide into columns and
Correct. So yeah, whenever we are going to reduce the screen size, right?
yeah.
Okay, that time we are going to stack, right?
Mm-hmm.
How items are going to be aligned on one after another, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how the items can be stacked on top of each other, that we can do by using this grid system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct or not?
Yes.
Yeah. So based on the screen size, how we are going to divide our UI into columns, that we can do by using our grid system. Okay, so for this we have different classes, grid classes, okay, that we will see in our grid system session. Okay.
Okay.
So this is all about some introduction about the material UI. Okay, so first we are going to start with the typography, right?
Okay.
Like while learning Bootstrap, we will start with typography only, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the similar way, I'm going to start with the typography. Okay, we have the material UI link. So you can see material UI is a simple and customizable component library to build faster, beautiful and more accessible React application.
Yes.
Okay, so how we can install the material UI, right? You can install like this, right? npm install.
Recording going on?
Yeah, recording is going on.
Okay.
So yeah, npm install material UI core, we can do it, right? So next, get started. I am going. Okay, I'll set here.
So what is the difference between this Material UI and Bootstrap?
Both are similar type of frameworks to achieve the rich UI applications in order to achieve rich UI.
Okay.
So in case of Bootstrap, what you have all the things, right? Like that is a simple library, right? In order to implement anything. But in case of Material UI, what it is a library which provides us rich set of React components.
Okay.
So you understood, right? What is the use of a component? By using the component, we can achieve the reusability, right? Simply. Yeah. So first we will see about the typography. So this. Okay, so we have a component called typographic component we have. Okay, so by using this component, we can create the text inside of our application. Okay, so like suppose if we want to create a heading, we can create simply by using the typographic component. Okay, so you see, right? Let me open. It will have the different variants. It will go directly, right? So okay, the typographic component makes it easy to apply default set of fonts and sizes in our application. Okay, so okay, it provides some typography is a component, right? So for this component, we will have the props, right? For every component. Okay, by using these props, we can customize the typography. Okay, which means what type of the variants that we are expecting for this text, right? Whatever we are going to pass inside of our typography. Okay, so by using this variant, we can apply the different set of variants for our test. Yeah, I can see. Okay, we can import the typography from like this, or we can import from a Material UI code. Okay. So the name MUI typography can be used when providing the default props or style overrides in the theme. Okay, I will come to this part.
Okay.
So now every component have a props, right? It may or may not have, but typographic component have a props. Okay, so what is the use of align?
Yeah, like aligning text to the right or.
Correct, right? So next, classes. Okay, so if we want to override or extend the styles applied to the component, that we can do by using these classes. Okay, we will see that in our coming session. Next, component. Okay, the component used for the root node, either a string to use HTML element or a component. Okay, so suppose if we want to create any typography test, if we want to make it as a div, so we can use it as a component. Component is equal to div we can give. Okay, so what it will do, creates a div for us typography. True. Paragraph, if we mention true, right, the element will be a paragraph element, right? SX, the system prop, the TILOS defining system overrides the additional, see the SX page for more details. Okay. So this variant. Okay, if we won't provide any variant, right, it will be default value is body 1.
Okay.
Okay, so applies the theme typography styles. Variant mapping, you can provide some object to say. Okay, and also it has some CSS rules. Okay, rule name root and body 2, body 1, caption, button H1, H2. These are the things, right? Variants, correct? Yeah, I will come to this part once we will see some example in the unit so that it will be clear. Okay, so now I have already created, I will show it. Okay, so this is the typography demo, right? This is a text. Okay, so first we will see what it generates, correct? It generates a H1, right?
Mm-hmm.
First in my package.json, I have a dependency called material UI code. Okay, and also I have material UI icons.
Okay.
Okay, in order to use the material UI library, you need the dependency, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So apart from that, the things are common. Okay, React router and React router. This is anyway required, right, in order to use the React router. So next, whenever we are trying to access, the first place is the app.js, right? So we see this part. Whenever we are trying to click on the typography MUI, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So if you see, this is the one I'm talking, correct?
Okay.
For this path, what is the component that I configured? Typography MUI, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That component is going to be displayed on your UI. Okay, so now we have to see this typography MUI component. Okay, so I will explain how this was built, right? Yeah, whenever our component comes, I will explain that.
Yes.
So first, I'm going to typography MUI. So first, you see, I have created a simple typography component. Correct? I mentioned color is equal to primary, component is equal to div, and typography variant. Correct? Variant is equal to h1, align center, typography demo. Okay, so here what it will do, it generates something like okay, like this it is going to generate. Final component. Sorry, final HTML.
Okay. So component equals to div means it.
It generates a div tag.
Okay.
Okay, component is something a container kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay. So now if you see, right, if I go to here, you can see, right, div generated and h1 tag.
Yeah.
So why we have to go for this typography? Why can't directly we use div and h1? What is the benefit if we are going to use a typography? Correct? So, like in Bootstrap, we will mention the colors, right? Primary and all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why we are mentioning these colors in Bootstrap? These names only, correct?
Yeah.
So, do you know how to override the Bootstrap base library? Like if we want to change the primary color, can we do that across our application?
Yes.
We can do that, right, in Bootstrap. So, yeah, in the similar way, yeah, if we are going to use the typography, right, so what we will get, right, we will have a benefit of the components theming. Easily we can do it, correct? So by default, each variant or typography has its own spacing, right? Material here.
Okay.
So we saw, right, that one material design. If you see this one, we said H1 will have a letter spacing of 1.5, weight, light, and size 96, right? Yeah. So if we are using the typography variant H1, so what we can achieve if we want to change for this typography variant H1 across our application, right? Suppose if I want to update, okay, type of this type of typography H1, I want to give the some default color heading for all these variants H1 for this typography, right? So that we can easily customizable across our application if we use the same, right, across our application.
Yeah.
I mean to say we can do the theming or updation easily we can do by using this framework that we will see in our coming sessions.
Okay.
So now you can see, right, it generates a H1 tag, correct? Given H1 tag. And also you can see whenever we mentioned a variant H1, correct?
Yeah.
So variant H1, then what happened? Here for this view, did I mention any variant?
No.
No, right? So what is the default variant?
Is it body 1?
Body 1, exactly. So now you see CSS rules, right? So whenever it has a root, right, by default this styles apply to the root element. Okay. Body 2, styles applied to the root element if variant is equal to body 2. Body 1, styles applied to the root element if variant is equal to body 1. Right. So if you see our React app, for this view, right, it applied a style rule called MUI typography body 1. Clear, right?
Yeah.
So next we mentioned color is equal to primary, right? And now color we don't have. The color is not there as a type. Okay, so he is saying as a CSS utility, the typography component also supports all system properties. You can use them as props directly on the component. Understood this point?
What is it?
So now, if you see, we applied color, right, as a property, right, color.
Yeah.
So now, if I'm searching for color, right, it should show the property, right? Correct?
Yeah.
As a prop, but it is not showing. So for that, what he mentioned, as a CSS utility, the typography component also supports all system properties. You can use them as props directly on the component.
Okay.
So now if you go to our system properties, color, you are seeing that color property. Got it? So yeah, so according to the API, typography supports these components. Along with that, it also supports the system properties, correct?
Yeah.
These are the system properties. Okay, if we want to mention any system property, we can mention it. Okay, we mentioned a property called color in order to display the color for this text, right? Whatever the text. We mentioned color, right? So color will have a theme mapping. So if you see the Bootstrap, we have colors, right?
Yeah.
What colors we have?
What's that?
Primary, secondary, correct?
Yeah.
So like this you can see. Plus we have primary, secondary, error, warning, info, success, gray. These are some of the objects that we have. So even if we place cursor also, it will show. Correct? By default it is a inherit. So that's why we are getting primary color as a blue for our H1 text. Correct? So it applies a CSS rule called MUI typography color primary. Correct?
Yeah.
So now if we remove this, it is gone. That's okay. Next, what I have done, I created some other typographies. Correct? Mention component as a div for this and gutter bottom. What is this gutter bottom? If we didn't mention, I need to see. Just a minute. It's okay. We'll have a bottom margin. Correct? If true, the text will have a bottom margin.
Okay.
Are we getting any bottom margin? Margin we won't be able to see, right? It is just yeah, it has applied a gutter bottom and margin bottom of.
Okay.
Correct? If we want to apply gutter bottom, it doesn't have a margin. Correct? Clear it?
Yeah.
So like this we can apply different variants on typography. Okay, H1 to H6. And also we can do the subtitle one, correct? This is one variant, subtitle 2. Okay, if you see the subtitles, it will show something like this for subtitle 1 and subtitle 2. Okay, for body 1 and body 2, just we have to mention a variant, correct? Next, just mention variant is equal to button for our button text. Now our typography acts as a button. So it has a button text. So like a button it will act, but we don't have any click event set. So and also we can apply a variant called caption
Okay.
and overline text. Okay, what is overline? What is the meaning of overline? Okay, it is converting to uppercase, right? Text transform is uppercase. This is the some overline text. Okay, so it is converting to just some uppercase if we mention just overline. Even though text is simple text, but it converts to the uppercase, correct? So sometimes if we want to wrap, right, some text, whatever we want to place, mean to say the text is not sufficient for the container. If we want to wrap the text like 3 dots, right, something like this. So for that, what we have to do, no wrap is equal to false, which means wrap is true, right? Correct. If I remove this, no wrap false means it wrap true, right? You can see the whole text. Correct?
Yeah.
If I mention no wrap is equal to false, you can see that it wrapped, correct?
Yeah.
So now, how the material UI applies the styles to our component, right? Or any of our typography components. Okay, by default, every component will have the root class name. We observed, right? MUI root.
Yeah.
Okay, MUI typography root, correct? Also, based on the top thread, it is applying other rules, right? Okay, if we mention a color primary, it is applying the primary color rule, right? If we mention variant H2, it is doing that. If we mention the bottom, it applies the better bottom, right?
Yeah.
Rule, right? So all these rules are all this information of these rules stored as a object in material UI. Okay, I mean to say, so you see this theme object, right? Now, and all. First, I will minimize. Okay, now if you see, this is an object. Under that, you can see typography is an object, correct? Okay, under this typography, you will have some of the objects, correct? Properties and objects. So now if you see, for this, it applies a font family of Lobo, Helvetica and Arial sans serif, font size, font weight, font bold, all those things. Okay, for H1, this is the property that here it applies.
Okay.
For H2 object, this is the prop. For H3, this is the. Now, if you see, if we come to our H1, you can see, right, the same here.
Yeah.
So whatever you are seeing, this one you can see here. Okay, so in order to change our topography of H1, what we can do? Just we have to update this information, right? Understood? If I update this font family, right? So what will happen? Automatically, all the application will have updated values for this component, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that we will see in our coming sessions. Okay, so this we call it as a theming or customizing our topography component.
Water come on the left.
So
Water is
next we will go for the button component. Okay.
opposite.
So now let me search for button component. Okay, what is the use of button? Okay, by using button, we can perform any actions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So buttons communicate actions that users can click. They are typically placed throughout your UI in places like dialogues, modal windows, forms and cards and toolbars, right? So we have a button component inside of our API, right? Serial UI. So by using this button component, you can create the different types of buttons or different type of variants. Okay, you can see them, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, if we mention variant is equal to text, it will create like this. If we mention contain, it will be something like this.
It's the first.
If it is outline, it will be like this.
Okay.
Okay, this is a basic button. Text buttons. Sometimes we want to create a simple text buttons. So now this is something like you can see button primary, button disabled. We can have a button link. Okay, it will perform some links. href if we provide for this button, it will act as a like a link.
Okay.
Next. In the buttons, right? So contain buttons will have a fill inside of it. So if we mention variant is equal to contain, it is something like it will show like this, correct?
Yes.
So you can disable elevation. You can remove the elevation of the any difference you observe? Yeah, something happened for this disable elevation prop. And also we have outlined buttons, right? If we want to perform on-click handler for this button, right? We can do it using a property called on-click.
Okay.
Okay, so if we apply color red for a button, okay, it creates a particular type of button. Color we will have for this button, correct?
Yeah.
Next, size. Based on the size, I think we can give the size of the button. Okay. Next, upload button. Here you are seeing a button which was created as a upload right, contained button, and also it has a icon right, that we will see, this photo camera icon. Okay, buttons with icons and label that we are going to see. Okay, so it has a start icon and end icon. If we mention start icon and end icon, what it will do, it will have that related icon prior or after the text inside of the button. Now we can see one example, right? Correct, default button, primary button, secondary button I created.
Okay.
Okay. Next we this one I created by using typography H1, right? This text. Okay, you can see typography H1 I created this MUI button. Okay, tomorrow we will see the icon buttons and this hub button. Okay, so if you see tab button means it has some I forgot the expansion of tab. First action, floating action button. Okay, so if you see in our most of the applications, right, you will have some button highlighted inside of our application. If you see here, this is a compose button.
Okay.
Correct. This type of buttons we will call it as a fab buttons, floating action buttons.
Okay.
Yeah. So whenever we are into the certain pages, like if we are in the list of products page, right? So if we want to consider create product as a highlighted action inside of that page, right? That action we can create it as a fab button, and we can give here for below this. Like that, we can create the fab buttons inside of our application by using the material here. Okay, tomorrow we'll continue with other components. Okay, tomorrow we'll meet.
Okay.
At the last of the celebration.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye.